So I'm here at the golf course at my trap base, and it has been 100 days hard survival since I've turned structural damage on. And we're going to take a quick look around the base to see how much damage the enemies have done. So this is the outer wall, and as you can see, they've completely tore this corner away. And they've actually got the outside wall down to here. Now, spikes ran all the way inside of the wall. You can see how they've tore out some of the spikes. And what I've done is I'm actually in game day like 2:15 or something like that. So like demons, all sorts of enemies spawn in naturally. But each day in game, I spawn in 20 of the titans, the big red guys. So anyways, let me climb back up here. I'm going to take a look at the top first, and then I'll go and walk through the wall, show you some of the hot spots that they seem to be attracted to. So anyways, I've covered this corner. This was actually not the first damage done, but you can see once they got started, they did a lot. And this side of the wall is definitely the favorite. So this is also considered the outside wall. As you can see, they've done a lot of damage, tore out a lot of the spikes, and all they've got to do is get through that third wall, and they're into the inner parts of the base. Not completely the center, but making progress. And a lot of planks missing. They love running through this double wall system for some reason. So if you're at the golf course, beware. Especially cannibals, they do spawn a lot here. Up ahead is some of the first significant damage I took, and this was actually enemies spawned in, and I didn't realize it at the time because I would have loved to see what it was. I suspect it was a holy, but you can see spawned in here, tore out all the planks. This was actually a little platform area with some rain catchers and stuff like that, and they've tore the planks off of that. And this is continuing the outer wall. Demon boss did this. The demon bosses that naturally spawn in the world, they're not as strong as the one in Hell's Cave, but they definitely, if you've got structural damage on, they will get after your base quickly. Here's some more corner damage where they tore off the planks. But this wall, they started attacking first, but for some reason, they've just sort of given up. When I spawn in enemies, they tend to, if I spawn them outside, they kind of drift off. But if I spawn them inside, they like to come inside this wall and just run right along there. There's Virginia. Also, in the beginning, I had a security force of 10 Virginias all locked and loaded with pistols, shotguns. But as it was just, felt like it was too much of advantage on my part, on the base's part. So I eliminated all but I think a couple of Virginias. Kelvin, I haven't seen him in a week, I think. And this side of the wall, I can hear some mutant babies, is pretty much intact. I don't think anything has went after this side. So I don't know if it's something to do with this cliff side. If you're looking straight to the ocean that way, that's roughly where Cave G is, or you get the grind trap and one of the artifacts. But I'm not going to walk completely down this wall, but you can see it's pretty much intact. So, of course, nothing has gotten this far in. I did have a leggy get in this tower over here and just briefly tore off some planks, but the walls are stone, so of course it didn't do too much damage. You can see it tore out one plank flooring. Luckily, didn't get my stairs. But let me go over here, and I'll walk through the inner side of the wall. So once they get through this wall in front of me, then they're kind of starting to make their way into the inner portion of the base. But they do have a lot of stone defensive walls to get through, a lot of spikes, that sort of thing. This was probably the latest damage that was done. So they've tore out, as you can see, a really good portion of a stone wall. And then once they get through that, they've got this wall. Then they're sort of into the inner. And let me drop down. This is a grind ramp I built. This does not work well with structural damage on. So if you're using grind ramps, keep the structural damage off. And you'll have a bunch of night 5s laying around because they don't despawn. So this wall, you can see, it was completely filled with spikes, no more. And this area up at here's a good portion of damage they get through that wall. They're in the inner sort of the inner portions of the base. Got a few spikes here and there. But this this area up here, this is like a huge spawn point, especially for cannibals. So like I mentioned before, if you're on the golf course, beware of this area, especially if you're building a base. You got some valuables, resources stored, but right in here, seems like there's always a lot of activity. So, you've made it to the end. Be sure to drop a like. It will go a long way in helping this video with the YouTube algorithm. Also, if you're interested in seeing how long this base lasts, be sure to tune in to the Trapzilla, the Trap Wars live stream. We are currently on episode 10, and if you're not ready to leave the force, consider checking out these videos. As always, thank you for watching and hope to catch you in the next video.